before we can start making our pots, the first thing we have to do is wedge the clay. Wedging is a form of kneading the clay to get it homogeneous and to make sure that there are no air bubbles in the clay. So you open up your bag and you take a wire and you cut off a piece that's easy to handle. You don't want it too big or too small. So I close up my bag of clay after I take out the clay because I don't want the clay to dry out. So I'm going to take the clay and push down in the middle, and then I lift it up on its corner and push down into it again. I lift it on its corner and push down. The Japanese have a technique that they call chrysanthemum wedging, where they keep doing this so that it forms a circle and it looks like petals. But the idea is to push the air out of the clay. It's a little different than when you're kneading dough for bread, where you actually want to put air into the clay. So you fold it over and trap the air in. We're actually pushing the clay down into itself so that it pushes out any air that might be in there. And you kind of have to get your whole body into a rhythm when you're doing this. It's really great aerobic exercise. So the way we tell if there are air bubbles in it is we take our wire again and we cut through it. So I don't see any air bubbles, but if we kind of spread the clay apart, any air bubbles that are in there might show up. Yeah, there we go. If you can see that, there and there. So I'm going to slam this down on top of the other clay. So I'm working on what's called a wedging table, and a wedging table is usually a frame that has plaster poured in it. Clay works really well on plaster because if your clay is a little too wet, it will start to dry it out. But there are other things that you can use. This is a piece of canvas, and you could just put this on the table and work right on the canvas. This is a piece of, it's not particle board, I forget what it's called, MDF board. And you can get this at Home Depot or Lowe's, and it's almost like a particle board, and it's also absorbent. So the purpose of a wedging table is that it should be a little bit absorbent when you're working on it. So you can just work on a wooden table if that works, if you have a wooden table at home. But what you don't want to do is work on a shiny surface because the clay sticks to that.